200 pips, please. Secure.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Recording in progress.
Hey snipers, welcome to Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Ron, my partner is Dave. Thanks for joining. I appreciate your time, guys. It is 8:30 p.m. Eastern and it is Thursday, August 22nd. So thanks everyone for joining. I do appreciate your time. We're not going to go too long today. Maybe we'll wrap it up in 1 hour, in about 60 minutes. And what we'll do is we'll talk about some critical news that we have tomorrow in the markets that everybody should be aware of and prepared for. And also what we'll do is we'll review our swing trades. Some of them played out and one hasn't developed yet. We'll talk about it. And if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And what we're going to be doing on these Tokyo sessions in the next little bit is we're going to be focusing on higher time frame setups. specifically the 4-hour on multiple securities. We'll do different securities. Last night we charted gold, US oil, and GBP USD, and we'll take a look and we'll review them. So thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate all of your time. Welcome Aaron, Luke, thanks for joining. Good evening. Q, welcome, thanks for joining, and everyone on YouTube as well, guys. Thank you guys for all joining. I always do appreciate your guys' time. Tony Gold, thank you for joining. Jonathan, welcome, guys. There's not going to be too many of us because not too many traders trade the Tokyo session. It's a could be a lack of volume, but everybody I think is interested in the New York sessions and post New York and things like that when the North American markets open up. But you can still learn a lot in the Tokyo sessions, and you can still catch a few pips here and there. But main thing is, it's not as volatile as it is in New York, and you can test your theories and your strategies and put them to work and learn a little bit more about price action. Okay, guys? The way how we found our setups yesterday, we were using this on the top right corner of my chart here. This is the Stock Sniper Trading SST scanner that we've developed, and it's right now it looks at these specific securities. It looks at gold, Nasdaq, US 30, GBP JPY, US oil, and GBP USD, and on the specific time frames. So we have 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and the daily. And it kind of gives us a reading of all of the different time frames, whether it is overbought or oversold. And yesterday when we were doing our scan, we saw that gold was a little bit overbought on the higher time frame, specifically the daily and the 4 hour. And we also saw that GBP USD was overbought, and we can still see it today. Right now the daily is at 71 and the 4 hour is at 70.5 over here. So we will review also GBP USD today. And US oil we saw was a little bit oversold, with the readings in the low to mid 30s over here on the daily and the 4 hour. Okay. Yeah, Tony, you didn't follow your rules today and you paid the price. It's normal. All of us have gone through that. But the main thing, Tony, is please learn as much as you can. Learn from the mistake, so that we can try to limit it in the future. But it's normal. Don't feel bad. Don't feel discouraged or anything like that. We do it all the time. It's just part of learning to be the best trader possible is to overcome your mistakes and follow your rules as much as you can. Follow them to a T. And if you see that you guys are deviating from your normal daily trading rules, then maybe it's telling you something. Maybe you should be not trading as much or get back at following your rules, okay? Because sometimes when you don't follow your rules, you're going to make more mistakes and then you're going to end up losing some money. Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, first of all, is let's just look at Forex Factory quickly because I wanted to talk about tomorrow's news and what to expect. So today we've already had a lot of the news. So we talked about last night all of this flash manufacturing that was started in Europe with the French manufacturing, German manufacturing. We had our British manufacturing, and then we moved into the North American market where we had our unemployment claims. It came out, the actual was exactly what they were forecasting, 232,000. So no change week over week in the unemployment claims. And then we had our U.S. flash manufacturing and services over here, PMI, come out. We had some existing home sales, and then we started to have some moves in the markets around 11 a.m. Eastern today. You guys are probably were trading or saw that there was a big spike in the markets, and S&P, Nasdaq, and Dow took a little bit of a sell-off, a little bit of red volume, and we started to see the markets really move. Okay, we have the Jackson Hole Symposium also tomorrow. We'll talk about that. And so if you were following today's news, that's what you saw. Tomorrow is the big one, what I'm talking about over here. Starting right now, like later tonight, when I'm in bed here at midnight, we're gonna have Bank of Japan Governor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Uda speaks. So please be careful because it is a red folder, and bank and Japanese yen, it does tend to be volatile. Okay, so just please be careful with this. This is happening later tonight at midnight. We have tomorrow morning, we have at 8 a.m., right before we have COMEX market open, and then we get into the 8:30 news. We have FOMC member Bostic speaking. We have Canadian news at 8:30, core retail sales month over month, retail sales month over month, and our corporate profits over here. But this is the one I want to talk about because this is the big one in my opinion. And please, guys, pay attention to this because this could impact your trading tomorrow. And it's note the time, 10 a.m. So we all know that Wall Street opens up at 9:30, and Wall Street has volatility in itself. So 9:30, 9:45. Then when we move into our 10 a.m., so number one, 10 a.m. is a volatile time. It's got a new hourly candle, and also for most securities, a new 4-hour candle. And then we have Mr. Chair Powell speaking. Okay, so this could be talking right before the FOMC we have coming up, and he could hint on interest rates. He could hint on whether it's going to be maybe a 0.25%, 0.5%. I don't know what he's going to say. I'm just speculating. But whatever it is, the market is waiting for this. So maybe there was the big sell-off in the markets today, awaiting Powell's speech over here. So please, guys, whether you're in a trade or not in a trade, or you're looking for your setup, just please be aware at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, Fed Chair Powell speaks, okay? And when he speaks, the markets listen and the markets move, okay? So please be careful. And I'm going to say this again, and I hope you guys do follow. Around this time, don't be over leveraging, because then you're going to be strictly gambling, and you're gambling on what Federal Chair Powell is going to say. And that's to me is not trading. That's gambling. If that's what you choose to do, again, I can't stop you, but you have a high probability of not being successful with that approach and that strategy. So please be careful, guys, trading at this time. And to top it all off, it is a Friday, okay? So a lot of times retail traders have very difficulty on Fridays in general, and then now you put together all of this news and also Powell speaking at 10. It could be a recipe for disaster if you don't know what you're doing and you're over leveraged. So please be careful. And then it's day 2, all day of the Jackson Hole Symposium. Okay. And then we have the entire afternoon, we have more U.S. FOMC members speaking. Goolsbee will be speaking at 12:30, 1:45, and 2:15 going into the close. Okay, so we had a lot happen today in the markets, and some of our swing setups played out perfectly. We'll talk about those, but we do also have earnings tomorrow, pre-market earnings, any big names again that we should be aware of. I don't see too many, no big names. Okay, so pretty light day with earnings, and then Friday after hours we tend to have no corporations reporting earnings going into the weekend. Yahoo Finance, guys, this is a great little site to come and get some news for the day. Okay, so NASDAQ leads the stock slide as Wall Street braces for Powell's speech. So right here, after the call, if you'd like to, oh, sorry, Aaron, what is the Jackson Hole Symposium? Okay, no problem. Right over here, Aaron, just if click on it, we'll talk about it. We talked about it yesterday. So it comes from, Aaron, the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. Okay, so, and the next release will be August 24th. 2024 over here. And what it is the Economic Policy Symposium held in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's attended by central bankers, finance ministers, academics, and financial market participants from around the world. So it's a pretty big event. The meetings are closed to the press. But officials usually talk with reporters throughout the day. Comments and speeches from central bankers and other influential officials can create significant market volatility. So it's also called the Kansas City Fed Economic Symposium. Around 11 a.m. Eastern today is when we started to see the big spike in the markets where they dropped. It could have been something from what was said at the at the Jackson Hole Symposium over here. But it is pretty volatile. So just make sure, guys, when we do have these, they're once a year, that we do have to be aware of these things. So, but it's a lot of the big smart people talking about the monetary policies around the world. Okay. And then, guys, here's some more articles here. Here's everything to expect from Fed Chair Powell's speech on Friday. So if you want to click on it, read it, it's good to know. Here's some more stuff on all eyes on Powell's Jackson Hole speech. So that's where Powell is. He's speaking from in Wyoming there at the Jackson Hole, and everyone. These big participants from around the world get together to listen to what he's going to say, because the interest rates affect the entire world, not just North America. Okay, so there's a lot of good articles right over here and good related stories if you want to read up on anything over here. Okay, and back to Yahoo Finance right over here. And then there's more articles here. Nvidia CEO Huang sells 14 million in stock almost daily. So he's unloading a little bit of shares. Nvidia took a hit today, down almost 4%, down to just below 124. We'll see tomorrow. Is it going to come down to 120? Or are we going to bounce back up to maybe 128, 130, or is it just going to just close around here? They have earnings next Wednesday on the 28th, so we'll see how Nvidia's earnings are next week. Okay, and there's other news all over here. Mortgage rates fall to the lowest since May 23. Canadian government forces rail lockout to end. So this is just new. This is 40 minutes ago. I'm just reading this right now. I thought this was going to go a couple days, this strike, but I don't think the Canadian government can allow CN Rail to go on strike. That would destroy the supply chain and affect everything. So I'm happy that they reached a deal and we don't have to go. The rail doesn't have to go on strike. Cava beats estimates across the board. Stock reaches all-time high. That was today in the after hours. And oil heads on a weekly decline in demand concerns in Gaza talks, all of these things. So whatever articles there is you want to read about, they're all here. Discord, everybody, excuse me. Fantastic day with the signals, also with our 4-hour setups that we're going to talk about, but our setups throughout the day over here on all the other securities. Gold, beautiful sell over here, below 2,505. That's what we were looking at, the 2,500 area for our 4-hour setup, and you can see this is on the 15 minutes. You can see how the 15-minute candles played out. They pushed down, pulled back, and then they continued to drop for more than 250 pips. So gold was a very nice sell, and also indices. Right over here, this was pretty much precision when we're talking about identifying this area, 19,600. The market on the 5 minutes came beautiful right down to this very, very demanding pocket right here. And then you see how you got a nice bounce with a bullish engulfing candle, just bounce right out of there. Anywhere in around here, if you took a buy or on this bar, you had a nice V recovery, push all the way up to 19,751 for approximately 150 pips on a beautiful bounce right off of 19,600 with minimal to zero drawdown, guys. So if you guys want to join us on getting some signals and helping you guys out with your trading, we do it with the SST Scalper Pro. We do indices, we do commodities, FX pairs, and then here's our 4-hour swing trades that we were talking about yesterday that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Okay, and everyone on YouTube, thank you guys for joining. If you guys want to join us on this free Telegram, it's pinned at the top of the YouTube channel for you guys, and we'd love for you guys to join this and join our team with us at Stock Sniper Trading. Okay, last night we shared our 4-hour sell setup on gold last night with you guys in here. So we got kind of give you guys free setups. We kind of give you guys what's going on in New York when we're streaming in our Zooms with Dave over here and Forex, and also what we do in live London, and you guys are with me in Tokyo and post New Yorks. So this was kind of the setup we were looking for, kind of played out a little bit. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, guys, so join this free Telegram group, and if you want to become a sniper, we'd love to have you on the team. StockSniperTrading.com. Right over here, visit the link and join the team. Okay, so what you guys are all here for is we're going to start to get more involved in higher time frame setups, more swing trades. Like a swing trade, when we say the word, I don't always want to use the word swing trade, because when we say swing trade, it's more, it's everyone thinks that we're holding the trade for multiple days. You can, that's why you want to focus on higher time frames, but also like the trades that we took today. Maybe you're looking on the 4-hour, and you might trade it for the day, and you might get your daily goal and you might be done, and then you look for another swing trade. It's more on the higher time frames as opposed to focusing on the lower time frames on the 5 minutes, 15 minutes. You're focusing on the daily and the 4-hour. Maybe hit your daily goal and be done for the day, and then look for another higher time frame setup. Okay, but you can obviously hold these things for multiple days, and hopefully they play out, and then they get you bigger and bigger reward. Okay. The first one I'm going to talk about is gold. So it's XAU USD. So this was from, if you weren't on the call with us last night, this is what we charted. We saw that gold was in this upwards bullish parallel channel, making higher lows and higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. This was the all-time high right up here where we hit 2,532. This was Tuesday of this week, and when we started our analysis, we found our all-time high supply red box. We brought it into the future. We kind of consolidated it in here. We saw on Wednesday that it broke a low. The wick did the damage, but the body tells the story, and it came back up and closed down here. John, what time frame? This is 4-hour right over here. I don't know if you can see the watermark, 4H. So we're focusing on the 4-hour time frame here. But when we started last night's top-down analysis, we were looking at the weekly, we moved into the daily, and then we're looking for setups on the 4-hour. Okay, so it started to break down after our call right over here. So you can see it started to break down, and we had a 4-hour body close below the specific area, below this yellow line. This is what we're looking for red volume to close below here and then start to give us our confirmations. So 2,502, 2,500 was the target that we're looking at to break this psychological block. We got a red bar that came down and closed down. Just like then when you know your price action skills, and you're like, for example, if these were 5-minute candles, the same thing. Look at how low the 4-hour wick is. The next body opened red, and there was just a tiny wick. It didn't even take out that low, and then it started to fill up green. So as it comes up green, remember what I do is I target 50% of the volume of the bigger base candle. So this red one, what I would have done is locate 50% like this. So I can see 50% of the volume is around 2,508, and it came a little higher up there, and then it got rejected and pushed back down. But it still is a lower high from the start of the big red body and pushed down. And it closed with some green volume. So there's still some buyers still in there. And then the next 4-hour candle was 5 a.m. So this is 5 a.m. going into Wall Street at 9 a.m., this 4-hour candle. So it opened, it was green again, it came up green, green, green. You can see right again, just right around that 50% level, again a lower high, and then they rejected it. Then it came back down, and you can see it made a new low, push down, new low, and then it came back up and closed. There's the red volume that we want. You know, when we're looking for confirmations, and sometimes we get our confirmations that we're looking for, there's the red volume that closed below the level. So now the next body starting at 9 a.m., and this is our Wall Street candle. So this is the one with more volume, more momentum. You can see how it opened. It opened and it was slightly green just for a little bit, and push down. So this is where we're targeting the sell, anywhere around here. And then it started to break down. So you should technically have been in a sell here. And we had it stop loss all the way above the all-time high. Again, if that's not your style, if this is too big of a structural stop loss, then just look at the structure behind you. Like this is just you don't have to follow it exactly. You can put your stop loss if you want to be a little bit tighter, like above this red candle, and you're still above the last 8 hours where it did get rejected. But we have the stop loss above there for a reason, so that we can maybe play this out for multi-days and get a bigger move on this. And then it ended up pushing down where it was red, 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 and it kind of broke the critical levels over here, 2,488, and it pushed all the way down. And then when we did our top-down analysis from the weekly and the daily, these yellow lines are kind of like daily pivots, point of interest, and you can see how the 4-hour volume came all the way red and tapped right into this daily point of interest, 2,470, and right around this yellow line, and then it kind of got rejected here because there was big buyers waiting at that daily level. It brought it right back up and it came back down, but it's a higher low, and then we started to rotate back up for like a counter buy here on the 4 hours. Okay, so this trade pushed down to the yellow line, like right around here, for 300 plus pips, 300 guys. So you know, just this 4-hour candle, like right here, you could have maybe hit a daily goal, or maybe 2 days of goals. Maybe you don't even need to trade tomorrow. Like you got your 100, 200, 300 pips out of this trade, and then just your risk management. When it starts going down 100, 200 pips, then take your stop loss and start to reduce your risk, and ultimately maybe if you can get it down to a break even. Then you got a free rolling trade in profit with zero risk, and then maybe we can keep looking for a few more trades and keep compounding that account over time. Okay, so did anybody take that trade gold? Did anybody take this sell with me or with the team? Did anybody take this? Did I break it down for you guys last night? Did you guys understand why I was looking for a sell instead of buying gold? We talked all about this last night, guys. On the weekend, if you want, watch last night's video, and you'll see we also looked at the US dollar, and it was very important where the US dollar was. The US dollar was at that, we'll talk about it on this call as well, but US dollar dropped for multi-days and was oversold. So I was saying that there's going to be some buying momentum. There's going to be a little bit of buyers, and with the strength of the US dollar on buying, then we should see gold break these critical daily levels and start to drop. So it was a good 4-hour momentum push all the way down. It is rotating right back up, but if we're going to continue to stay in this trade, because it's still active, this trade is still active, now what you can do is you can either bring your stop loss down to a break even if you like, or reduce it, like I said, down to there. You're reducing your risk. You're still giving it a little room. If it does come back up and then it gets rejected and go back down, maybe this thing will be a bigger move tomorrow, okay? But that's up to you, okay? I'm not going to tell you guys what to do with the trade. This is something for you guys to learn about. But what I would do right now that we have our 4-hour candles have already printed, we need to kind of do a little analysis on them. So what I would do is this 9 a.m. candle from when it opened with this red volume to where it closed, identify where is 50%. It's like right around here, this 2,493 area. Right, like we're coming right into it right now. This big 4-hour candle that's going to close right now in 6 minutes is coming right into 50% of yesterday, this big red candle right here. So what I would do is maybe identify again where's about 50% of it. Maybe draw now just a shorter term red box and bring it through here. And we're going to see maybe if this can still hold in profit and be supply, because then what we could see is maybe the sellers are still absorbing these buyers, and then we'll push it back down in this leg, and maybe we revisit back down in here and maybe physically break this daily point of interest, and then we drop a little further. Okay, so right now what we can see is we've got gold that pushed down all the way down there, okay, to our target, and then now it's slowly rotating right back up, and maybe it's gonna be held, stay here and then push back down. But another thing that could happen is it could rotate, come back up to retest the breakout area, okay, the breakout area. But then if you're at a break even, then you're going to get stopped out of the trade at break even. But we can also look for another entry up here. If gold comes all the way back up to 2,500, right around here by the yellow line, we could, and then it gets rejected and goes back down, we could look to continue to take another 4-hour sell setup here. But maybe it doesn't get up there. Maybe it's right in here, this red box, and then it makes another lower high, and then we continue to push down, okay? So maybe that we can follow maybe that path going into later tonight. Okay, do you guys have any questions about that? Sorry, I'm just reading the chat right now. Newt, you took it. Nice. Congratulations, man. Juanito, welcome. Good morning. Welcome. Aaron, you caught a few pips earlier today on gold. Absolutely awesome. Good job. Juanito, you were in the sell on gold since a few days. Perfect. Yeah, so hopefully you guys did awesome. You guys on YouTube, I hope you guys also took advantage of that and grabbed some pips. Okay, and okay, so that's what we're looking at right now on gold. So maybe it's going to continue to push back up, but that's 50%, and we'll see if it gets rejected and we push back down. If we do, we want to get red volume to close below this structure, like right over here, 2484, so that we can continue to maybe fill these wicks and continue to drop further. If we get going into tomorrow and next week, if we get red gold volume closing below 2470, then this yellow line will become a daily point of interest, a resistance interest, and maybe we can continue seeing gold sell off down into here. Okay, but if you're in this trade, it is in profit right now, but the majority of the move was at 9 a.m. where it dropped for about 300 pips. Okay. And then another security. So I'm going to move off of gold, guys, if that's okay with you. Oh, another thing. Someone asked me earlier before I started the call, said, Ron, how do you enter these higher time frame setups? So that was a great question. So this might be, some of you guys are wondering this question as well. What time frame do we enter on? So ideally, okay, so just listen, because remember, trading is very dynamic. You know, it's not just one set rule and that's what you have to do. We're focusing on the 4 hours. So the ideal setup is to watch the 4-hour candles until they close for the full, like this 4-hour candle is going to close right now in 2 minutes. So we'll get more information when they close. We want 4-hour volume to close below our critical areas that we're watching. But the question was, do I enter a sell on the next 4-hour candle? If it is set up like that, you can. But also, guys, remember, like you can go down to the lower time frame. So what you can do is you can go from the 4-hour, you can go to the 1 hour. I wouldn't go any lower than the 1 hour. When we're looking for higher time frame trades, I would stick with the 4 hour or the 1 hour. You don't want to go into 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, because then you're turning it more into your mindset will be, am I swing trading? Am I scalping? What am I doing? And then you're going to confuse yourself. Stay with the higher time frames, but you can also watch to see where the 1 hour volume closes. Okay, so these now, I haven't changed anything like the structure of the chart. It is the same. So you can see that here is the 2,500 in level, that the line that we're looking for the 4 hour volume to push below. You can see when a 1 hour candles, they close below. Okay, so that 1 hour candle right there at 11 p.m. after we ended the call closed below, and same with midnight closed below. So if you took a sell there, that you had 1 hour volume close below the 4 hour level, but then you get in a sell and then you're in drawdown, you see, because then it pulled right back up. That's why sometimes it's ideal to wait for the full 4 hour candle to close to give you better confirmation. But then it started to consolidate on the 1 hours right in here, back down red, go back up green, and then you can see one more right here, 7 a.m. Now I can see specifically when they closed it with the big volume. So it was 7 a.m. There's the red hourly candle again that closed with more volume below the level we're looking at. And then here's 8 a.m. This could have been one of the time frames that you enter in on a sell on the hourly, when it came back up green, 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 then got rejected right there. If you took a sell, you should be having your stop loss. If you want to watch hourly structure, you could have it above here, but we put it above the all-time high to give it more room to breathe, because we're looking for obviously a bigger move. And then you can see when it starts to break down, there's 9 a.m. and then it continued to 10 a.m. right in there, and then we can see it pulling back. So the question was, what time frame do we look to enter the trade? Do we stick with the 4 hour? Do we go to 1 hour? Do we go to 15 minutes? That is completely up to you. Okay, but this is the critical area that we're watching for volume below. If you want to go into the 15 minutes, that's your choice. You could definitely go into the 15 minutes, but you got to understand that sometimes the 15 minutes are not developed. Like they just come down. You could have got in a sell, and then it went back up, then back down, then back all the way up. You probably would have panicked on that move right there, you know, depending if you had a tight stop loss, and then again it started to break down. So I would stay with the 4 hour, 2 hour, or the 1 hour. But if you can stay with the 4 hour, ideally it's the best, because then it cleans up a lot of all the noise, and then you get more of an accurate reading. So there's the big red bar that closed below, and then you can enter on whichever one you like. Okay, so that was a great question that we had earlier. Wanted me to just clarify that. Okay. Now let's just keep moving forward. So gold goes hand in hand with DXY. So the reason why we were looking to sell gold was because of this security right over here, DXY. This is the US dollar, as it's paired against other major currencies of the world. So we could see on the 4 hour, the US dollar has been significantly pushing down from up here. From 104, it pushed down, it rotated right back up, kind of consolidated with lower highs. We pushed back down for a double bottom right here, and then it rotated right back up again, and then they continued to push and sell the US dollar all the way where it was making these lower lows and lower highs and lower lows, and then we started to see that it was getting really, really oversold, and we were approaching this psychological block on the weekly, which is 100. Like, it doesn't get any more psychological than that. The lowest we came down to was 100.918 right here, 918. So it came all the way down to the psychological level, and that's why we thought it was a good opportunity to look to sell gold, because we have more maybe investors, institutions looking to buy the US dollar, and with the strength of the US dollar, we should see some selling on gold. So that's why when we kind of correlated them together, that's what we were looking for. So right now, when I'm looking at the 4 hour of DXY, what do I see right now? So I can see one wick right here, 2 wicks, 3 wicks, 4 wicks, 5 wicks, 6 wicks. I can see a lot of wicks. So wicks are telling me that there is resistance right here. It is getting rejected, and not just once, but 5, 6 times. So there's multiple rejections right here around 101.50, this block. So what we could possibly see now tonight going into Friday in New York, we might see maybe gold retrace back down just a little bit, maybe test 50% of this big body candle at 7 a.m., maybe push back down into here, and then we continue maybe to penetrate up here and try and break through this big supply and this resistance we have going forward. And we'll see if US dollar can break through here, and if we do, then we should see further selling on gold and continue to move down, even making new lower lows. Okay, so but it could also come back down to test down in here, this 101 area. This is where it created the first bottom. Maybe it needs to come back down here and test this level again, and then it gets injected again with big buyers, bringing it right back up, and then you can kind of visually start to see maybe the double bottom, the W. There's where the one leg came down, back up. Here's our neckline coming back down and then going back up. But what I would be watching and place alerts here would be around here 101.50 to see if 4-hour volume can eventually break through here, because if it breaks through, then what you want to do is flip this red box and then make it green, because this could be ongoing demand going forward for the US dollar on the higher time frame on 8 hours, or sorry, on 4 hours. And then maybe you see a pullback come into here and this holds, and then we see the next big leg up on the US dollar, and then we should see the successive leg going down on gold. Okay, so does that make sense? Because when we're trading gold, it's XAU USD. It's correlated with exactly with what the US dollar is doing, whether the US dollar has strength or it's weak. Okay, so that's what I would be watching. I would be watching to see what will happen around this level of the US dollar. Okay, it's at some critical levels. We might just get some consolidating tomorrow inside here, and then maybe we'll continue with this going into next week. Okay, but that is the US dollar over here. And so, and then our other okay, so before I go over to look at anything else, do you guys have any questions about gold before I continue to move on? Because we're going to talk about US oil, what we had a buy set up for US oil. Do you guys have any questions about gold before I move forward, guys? No, Tobago, it's not always the case. No, so the correlation is not always the case. Okay, so good for pointing that out. Yes, just because the US dollar is strong, that doesn't mean that gold is gonna sell. Okay, I've seen multiple times where the US dollar is moving bullish and it's strong, and gold is also bullish and moving. So it's just to gauge where the US dollar is at, and if the US dollar is breaking critical levels, then gold is at critical levels, we could see some type of correlation there, but not generally. Is it always, are they going to move up or down opposite from each other? Yep, Brad J. Powell is speaking tomorrow at 10 a.m. At the Jackson Hole. Yep. Okay. Okay. So if we're good on gold, I'm going to continue to move. Let's talk about U.S. oil. This was another setup that we analyzed yesterday, and so we saw gold was in a bullish parallel channel, making higher highs and higher lows, and US oil was the complete opposite. We were in this bearish 4-hour channel, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and a lower low. And when we started to do our analysis, we were inside here. So what we did was we figured out around here $71 was a key critical area of demand on the daily of a point of interest, and it didn't come all the way down there. 71.50 was kind of the ongoing support we have right now for US crude, and we had it consolidated in here, and we were looking for buys to break above 50% of this big red bearish candle on Wednesday at 10 a.m. that pushed US crude oil all the way down to 71.50. So we were looking for a retracement, but with volume to kind of break this level right here, which is $72.50. And we have where the 4-hour candle right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to zoom in so that you guys can see it. Right here, 6 a.m. So this one kind of finished right at 10 a.m. See how it came? It opened red, 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 red. Always locate, if you can, to the best of your ability, around 50% of volume. And you can see how it kind of came in there just a little bit lower than 50%, but caught a nice big bid and caught a buyers and came right back up to where it pushed right here, back to the open, and continued. And look at where it pushed right into there. So it came up to $72.65, so 15 pips above our buy area. And then it got rejected, but look at where it closed. Look at the green volume, okay, so you can see how kind of specific this 4-hour candle is. It closed at 72.55, so it closed with 5 points above 72.50. So therefore, 4-hour volume did in fact close above our key critical area. Even if it's just 5 points, 5 points is it's the volume that counts. It doesn't matter even if it closes above with 1 pip. It still has closing volume with buyers above critical point of interest, and just like that, that could flip the algorithm when a new 4-hour big body candle comes into the market. And so we have confirmation that volume closed above. That's piece of the puzzle number 1. Do we understand that? Because you have to understand that before I talk about point number 2. So you guys all understand that 4-hour volume did in fact close above the key critical area. Because some of you guys were asking me, Ron, do we trade on the 4-hour candle? Do we take the trade on the 4-hour, on the 2-hour, on the 1-hour? But you want to stay as much as you can with the 4-hour, but you could also, like I'll show you with this, you can go down to the 1-hour if you like. But this one specifically had a 4-hour body close above. So now, what is step 2 of the strategy? What we got to look for? We got to look for the size of the wick. Okay, is the volume closing right near the high, and then maybe we're going to get a bullish ignited open and continue to go, and then that might be our buy candle. Are we going to assume that the next candle opens red and for the pullback, and then the buyers step in, then we buy that? So just like when you're scalping, that's why when I'm scalping on the 1 minute, 5 minutes, all candlesticks have the same characteristics. So I treat 4-hour candles as if they're 5-minute candles. So just like when I enter on 5-minute candles, I do the same thing for 4 hours. Nothing changes. Do you guys understand that? Because for some traders, they cannot grasp that. They have a hard time understanding that. They treat 4-hour candles as if there's something completely different from a 5-minute candle. They're the same characteristics. They all have an open, high, low, close, and we still look for volume to close above critical areas. They have wicks, they have rejections, they're ignited too. They're the same thing. It's just these things take 4 hours to develop, and as opposed to 5 minutes. Okay, but look at then what happened. So it opened, and then what you got to do, just like I do on the 5 minutes, locate 50% of this big body. So did you, where it opened and where it closed, did you kind of physically find where is about 50%? 50% of that volume is like right around here. So this body did in fact open red. It opened red, but if you follow it, it came red, 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 red. Right there is about 50% of the volume. It dipped a little lower, but then found the buyers. Okay, they're not going to be exactly right at 50%. Sometimes they are, but give or take a little bit above, a little bit below, and it came right in there perfectly. found the big bid, found the buyers, and continued to push up with that buying momentum. And then that's where you could physically have taken your buy right there when we came to this area at 72.50, or just when it broke above the previous volume close. You could also, if you're more conservative, buy the high, the new high at $72.65 right there. But you should have been looking for a buy right around here. You had confirmation that volume closed above. You had the pullback, perfect, right into about 50% of the previous body, and continue to come up. So then when you're in your trade now, then we place our stop loss. We placed our stop loss on this below this $71 daily critical level, because we're looking for the bigger move on US oil. Okay, so it's developing right now. It's in a little bit of profit, but it's still developing. It could come down red to where we entered, and also maybe put us in drawdown a little bit, but we're looking for it to develop. And then right over here, if there's a double bottom that's going to create or be created, there's our first bottom. I bring that across into the future. Yeah, it would suck if it comes down in here. It will put me in drawdown, but if it picks up another big buy, then we could be breaking through here. Okay, I'm hoping it doesn't need to pull back. I hope it's got enough to continue to maybe drive, but it's not making any new highs. Okay, so it's making a lower high and a lower high, so it's kind of consolidating right now. So if we follow that big body candle, it came all the way right up to there, and then it got rejected and closed with green volume. Again, with the next big body, the next green body, take your red line that you cut the previous candle 50%, and then do the same thing with the body above. Where's half of it? Half of it is roughly right around there. Opening price, closing volume, half of it somewhere right around here. And then you can see that this candle did open green, but it's got a big wick to fill and didn't have enough volume, and continued to push down red right into 50% there, found the buyers, and we closed with red volume. Now we just opened up with a new 4-hour candle over here, and there's 44 minutes to go. It came down higher low, it came back up, could not even take out any of these highs, and then they're pushing down. So we're getting consolidation now until we get major sessions and new trading volume. Okay, but for some of you guys, I know some of you guys are just looking for maybe a 4-hour trade to maybe grab some pips, but just marking this from 72.50 to the top of that wick, it was roughly 95 to 100 pips, all the way up there. Right now it's still trading in about 45 to 50 pips of profit. If you want to reduce your risk, you certainly can. You can go through, again, going to break even, reducing your risk. Maybe this was too big of a stop loss, bring it below this structure right here. You're reducing your risk. That's all up to you, okay? And then if I break this down, the 4 hours into the 1 hour, how I did with gold, if you're looking for a 1 hour entry, again, these are your 60-minute candles, 1 hour. So this now I can see exactly 9 a.m. this morning was when the 1 hour candle did close above, and then 10 a.m. it opened red, came down, and then you could look to buy your 1 hour candle right there. Now I can see the 1 hour move. It made the high at noon. It pulled back right into the 50% of that 10 a.m. candle got tested once and got tested 2 times and continued to push up, and now they're bringing it right back down. So we're going to see if we're going to go back up or if they're going to pull it back down here at 72.82, test here, and it might have to come back down to test the entry point. Hopefully it can keep building, making new highs, and we can maybe get a good runner moving on US oil. Okay, so any questions on the US oil setup? Okay, right over here that we got. Sorry guys, I'll read the chat in YouTube and Zoom to see if I'm missing anything from you guys. Juanito, you got some from oil, but from the bottom. Oh, nice. If you hit the bottom, perfect. Like down into here, Juanito, 71.50. That was really nice. Yeah. Tobago, the trade on gold this morning was well executed on the 4-hour time frame and showed strong potential. However, I hesitated and decided to exit the trade prematurely, missing out on further gains. Okay, so this is the psychology, Tobago. If we're trading on 4 hours, you got to maybe make your mindset to keep the trade. You're looking for the bigger move. We're not looking to scalp for 5, 10, 15 pips. Okay, we're looking for the bigger play. Like you can see how big my stop loss is. Because we're looking for bigger moves. Okay, so just try, guys. It's not easy, because I know a lot of you guys come from like a scalper's mindset and you guys focus traditionally on the lower time frames. It's hard to switch your focus. Same with me. It's very difficult. I'm on the 1 minute, 5 minutes all day. So for me, when I go to the 4 hours, I got to keep telling myself I need to allow the trade to play out. But if it gets to a certain point, like gold, where it went 300 pips, I'm not going to be silly and just keep the trade open up 300 pips and miss out on that. But that's where you can go to. You have a solid cushion that you can go to at least a break even there and try and take out something when you're up 300 pips, as opposed to just getting out 15, 20 pips and then you miss out on a bigger move. Okay, so just try to teach yourself this, because then once you learn both of this type of psychology, then you can also learn how to intraday scalp the markets on the lower time frames. But you could also, on the same day, you could be looking to look for a bigger move. So what I did was I was in the 4-hour sell on gold. I caught the big move, but I was also scalping it on the way down on a separate account. So I allowed the higher time frame to play out, and I was also scalping gold, getting my 5-minute pips and things like that. So but with the same mentality that I was selling gold. So I was selling the pullbacks and the break of structure, the new lower lows, I was selling those. So it's a way how to kind of compound your pips if you can. And then maybe when you see the higher time frame, maybe it will allow you to know what the trend is on the higher time frame, so that if you're trading on the lower time frame, then you know not to counter trade. Like when gold on the 4-hour was breaking down, I was not looking to buy any part of that move. I was not looking to buy anything. I was looking to continue to sell on the lower time frames. If that helps and that makes sense, guys. Okay, and YouTube, let's see what's going on here. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome. System Profit, welcome. Andrew, so you got a good swing trade from the US oil and gold, but GU hit stop loss. Yeah, I'm going to talk about GU in a minute. So we're going to see if GBP USD actually played out or if it didn't. Okay, so but gold played out, guys, perfectly, and we have US oil playing out right now. It's not at the target I kind of want. I want gold, US oil to reach up here. I want to see if we can get it up to 74 and some change up here. Then that would be a nice good profit up there for about 150, maybe 200 pips. Okay, so let's move over to our third and final security that we looked at last night, and it was GBP USD. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Okay, so no entry for me on GBP USD. Nothing has played out here. Okay, so if you guys entered on this, you entered premature from what I had, because I'm looking for sells below here, below 1.3070, okay, right over here, and nothing got triggered. Here's my alarm and nothing got triggered. My alarm got triggered on gold and my alarm got triggered on US oil. Nothing yet played out. So, but I can see right now what's developing. This might play out maybe tomorrow or early next week. So this is still a swing trade. It hasn't been activated yet, but that doesn't mean that we just neglect this, we forget about it because it didn't play out on the first day. I find that that's also a mistake that most retail traders that they make is if if a swing trade doesn't play out the first day, that's it. They forget about it and they look for another one. That we shouldn't be doing that, guys. We should still understand the overall fundamentals of GBP USD. It is completely overbought. Like if we look on the daily, look at it how it's moving on the daily. So it's still bullish. Like I thought after these wicks on the daily, that rejection and that big rejection, I thought that we were going to open red and start to push down. Because remember what I was saying earlier with the US dollar finding a real critical pocket of strength. You know, like this goes perfect with Tobago, what he was saying. Sometimes they're not always correlated, because see here how it's GBP USD. We got the pound and we got the dollar. So technically, if the US dollar is strong and it's going up, we should see the pound going down, but it's not necessarily the case. The pound is still strong here while the US dollar is found an area of strength. So you see how it's not pushing down. So don't always think that if the US dollar is strong, the pound needs to drop. Don't always think that. If the US dollar is weak, then the pound is going to go up. It's not always the case. Here's the case in point that's showing you that the US dollar had some strength today and the pound has strength. So you see how it's still moving up. So no trade has been signaled yet. So it's still a very strong bullish candle. And if we look at the overall strength on the RSI, it's approaching above 70, 71. So now we're still getting in overbought territory, but it hasn't broke down yet. So this might need to play out tomorrow or maybe early into next week. So on the 4 hour, I'm still targeting this level, 1.30688 or 670. Let's round it there. But you got it, Franco, a head and shoulder pattern. That's what might be playing out. So, and it's taking its sweet ass time to develop. Over here, we have kind of our left shoulder. And then we had our head right here that spiked out. We got kind of 3 top wicks all over here, and we push down, and now we're kind of trading again now in this right shoulder. So it is now just pushing back up, but maybe we're going to see it get rejected and then push down on a 4 hour. Then we might maybe get tomorrow or maybe early next week our setup. So we're again looking for 4 hour volume, a 4 hour candle to close below here. And then maybe if, again, you got to use, maybe it closes near the low and next is a 4 hour red bearish ignited candle ready to drop, or it rotates back up to retest our level, then it gets rejected, then we sell, and then we're looking for GBP USD to come down to 1.3010 here and maybe get it down to 1.29 and start cracking down in here. So this hasn't played out yet. It hasn't been triggered. So who was it that said, Andrew, GU hit stop loss? We haven't even taken, this trade hasn't been activated. So it's unfortunate that you hit your stop loss, but we don't even have a trade here yet. So maybe you were looking at different levels, Andrew. Maybe you were looking to sell maybe the break of this structure right here at one point. Because right over here, guys, like, you know, if we want to get in a little earlier, like right now, I can see the structure that's being built. I can now lift my sell order and come up here if I like. Like what I mean is, if I place a yellow line to show you right here, 1.3083, let's say 85, 1.30850. You see how it's support, 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 and support, and support. So if I kind of want to bring the sell order and maybe look for 4 hour volume to close below here, this is where now I can start to initiate a sell. How about we do that? Do you guys want to modify GBP USD, or do you guys want to keep it the same and maybe you guys just watch this area? What I'll do is I'll place another alert here. Let's place one more alert. Maybe this will be alert 1 to give us a heads up, and we watch here. And if it starts to break down, maybe we go in with like a feeler trade. And then if it starts to break down our key critical area that I want it to break down, then that's like where you go in. But right here, just place an alert here for yourself and watch this area as well, because this could be where it breaks the structure down and then starts to push down. Just measuring from this yellow line to this yellow line just to show you that it's not a huge significant move. It's only roughly 15 pips. Okay, 15, 1 5, just to fill from that yellow line to that yellow line. Okay, but you can see the 4-hour candles are building structure at this level. So maybe what we got to see is maybe something like this: a red 4-hour candle later this evening, push down, maybe break and break, like how this candle broke, but we need red volume to close below there. Then if it closes below, it might come back up and get rejected. Then you can maybe start with a earlier sell, and then we watch our key area, and then maybe we get our breakdown. Okay. Just like when I'm scalping, if I see what's going on the 5 minutes, I adjust like my bias towards what's going on with the 5-minute candles. But you see the 4-hour candles are also, they're building their structure. Okay, so this could be maybe support one area that might break, but this would be the bigger one on the daily that could really break down. Okay, so GBP USD, it's still looking for a sell, but nothing has developed yet. Okay, the only thing that has triggered and developed was gold, the sell setup that went for 300 pips, and the US oil buy that went for 100 pips. But so far, nothing has developed with GBP USD. Okay, but again, let's not forget about this. Maybe we got to watch tomorrow and early next week on this, because we don't want to miss out on a really nice swing sell position on GBP USD when this one develops. Okay, and do you guys have any questions about GBP USD? Anything? Raj, check gold. Okay, we already talked about gold. I'm not scalping, so if it's looking for scalps, we're not doing that. We're here higher time frame. Yep. So gold got rejected. Okay. So this point of control, Raj, that I put over here. Okay. So you see how we came into it, the 4-hour candle prior, and it just closed down there. We came back up and it's going back down. So maybe it needs to consolidate for a little bit, like in here, and then maybe we're going to continue to push down. Okay. But if volume, 4-hour volume, starts to penetrate above this red box and we start to move above here, then it has a high probability it will come back to retest the entry point right here. So if you do have break evens, you could get triggered. So we kind of want to keep this red box going across the chart, and hopefully we can keep red volume below here, and then maybe we'll get the next leg pushing down, kind of following this path where it came down. It kind of rotated, pulled right back up into here, and maybe we'll get the next leg coming down. But there's not a lot of volume in the market right now. Okay, so it's 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, we got to wait till we get into London and then we get into Colmex. Then things will develop in New York, Wall Street with Powell. That's where we'll see the bigger volume and the momentum moves. Okay. Okay, guys, so that's what we'll be doing going forward on our Tokyo sessions. So next week we'll have another week of Tokyo sessions. We'll look at, we didn't do any analysis on NASDAQ, US 30, or S&P because they were kind of trading around 57, 58 on the higher time frames last night. So we kind of wanted to look for better high probable setups of trades that are ready to potentially break down. That's why I thought gold and US oil were good ones. Everything broke down today. So even if we look at the S&P 500, the overall snapshot of the markets, you can see when it all happened. 10 a.m. Look at this 4-hour candle. Like, this was a massive candle. So right now, the last 8 hours, we see it rotating back up. Okay. Again, with this, with whatever you're doing, with S&P 500, with Dow Jones, or NASDAQ, with whichever one you trade, 100% identify 50% of this red candle right now. Like, there's the opening price, there's the closing price, half of it is right around there, okay? And then just kind of make a zone and make it red. And we want to see, will the buyers rotate it right back up there? And if they do, are they going to kind of, where it pushed down, it's coming back up a little bit, is it going to come all the way, test in there, and then are they going to push it back down to break tomorrow these lows at 5,565, and then we're going to push a little further down to here? Or is this going to be kind of like a double bottom there? Maybe it might come back down, pick up a double bottom, and then this could be the point where it breaks out, and then we got that W breaking out and then coming right back, and then who knows, maybe it's a big bullish day, Powell says something, and then it closes strong on a Friday, and then next week we get a small pullback, and then we're gone for new all-time highs again. Okay, so however you want to play it out, it's up to you, but we had the big drop. See, and how quickly it dropped. 1 4-hour candle took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 bodies. Okay, that's a long time. That was from the start of the week. Monday, 10 a.m. Look at all day Monday, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and Thursday, 10 a.m., 4-hour elevator came down and wiped out the entire weeks of volume. That's, it takes forever for things to move up, and boom, one slam down can come down. So right now, we're kind of consolidating down here. We're going to see if it comes up, maybe a pull back down. We'll see if it's a higher low or a double bottom. But ultimately, I would be mapping out where's about 50% of that heavy volume and see if it will continue to be for our ongoing supply going into the future, into next week. And maybe we're going to start to see the markets sell off a little bit, okay? And maybe look for opportunities too. If you're doing any index trading, if you're doing any securities trading, there might be some securities you have on your watch list that you've been wanting to buy, but the share price was too high, like for example Nvidia or Apple or Tesla or Google or whatever it is. But now you might be getting some good discount buys, maybe starting a position. You could be looking at the option chain of most securities if you like, on the weekly expiration, on the monthly expiration, and look for good opportunities too in the stock market. Okay guys. Yes, Tobago. Thanks a million, Ron. These sessions are gradually turning you into a wolf. I love that. You're going to be the wolf of Wall Street, Tobago. That's what we want here. We want to be all wolves. We don't want to be sheep here. We want to be wolves. Okay, guys? You got to be like willing to take the trades in these markets. You got to be willing to navigate yourself through fear and greed in these markets. You can't be scared when there's an opportunity, and it's a great opportunity. Don't be scared to take it. The only thing is just don't over leverage, guys. I still see a lot of difficulty with traders over leveraging their accounts, and it's too much. Then they panic. You're not allowing the trade to actually develop because you're panicking because you've gone in too big for your account, and then as soon as there's 10, 15 pips of drawdown, you're panicking. And then the trade plays out perfectly, but you closed it because you panicked. That's not trading, so let's not do that. Trade appropriate to your size of your account. Have a realistic daily goal. And try your best to hit that daily goal every day. And if you do, have the discipline to stop trading and get out of the markets so you can learn how to do this on a consistent basis daily and hopefully change your life financially and do other things. That's if you can compound a little bit of money, then you bring that money into the stock markets and trade with options. There's a saying that they say the options is a rich game, like the rich man's game, trading options. But a lot of option traders started with nothing. They compounded everything, and then they slowly built up their account to trade options, and then then you can make some big percentage gains by trading options. But everyone says, well, you need a lot of money to trade options. Well, that's why you got to learn compounding. Not a lot of traders just started off with $1 million handed to them and go into options. Some of us started with nothing, but we compounded for multiple years to give us that equity so we can trade options. So I know some of you guys are in a similar situation that I was in. You guys are starting out like when I did with with minimal means, but you're using proper compound mathematics and discipline to grow the account so that you can trade the bigger securities and get some big percentage gains in the markets. And then we'll talk all about how to make passive income through options with covered calls and secured put strategies, the wheel strategy. These are excellent strategies if you're looking to make passive income. You do have to have a little bit of capital in your account in order to do this type of trading. And then everyone says, Ron, well, how much do I need? You need minimum $5,000 to $20,000 because not because you need big money to play the game, but you have to own 100 shares of a security in order to do this type of trading. So what I mean by that, if Nvidia is trading at $125, you have to own 100 shares of Nvidia, so you have to have $12,500. If you want to do it with Tesla is what, $220, I believe, a share. So multiply that by 100. You have to have $22,000 in order to do that strategy with Tesla. So if you're trading a security, it's $50. Then you have to have $5,000, and then you can do covered calls and cash secured puts, and then you're the one that's writing the premium and you're earning the premium. So you can make maybe a couple $100, $500, $1,000 a day just on premiums with just by owning the security. So that's what I want you guys striving for, is to grow your accounts to the point where you have 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. Someone said, Ron, well, I have 100,000. If you got 100,000, then you could buy 500 shares of a company and write 5 contracts and gain premium on that. And you could be making, if one pays $500, multiply that by 5, you make $2,500, and you're paid instantly. It's not about whether it's not like trading. You're writing the premiums. You're writing the call options. It's kind of what the bankers do, and you can basically be your own bank. I've been doing this for a long time, and I love it. It's safe. You're doing it with big name securities. I do it with the big Magnificent Seven. I'll tell you guys about the psychology too, about owning the security too. So if you're really passionate and you really want to, like me, I love Nvidia. I love Nvidia and I love Apple. So if I can own more and more and more Nvidia and Apple, and I can buy it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, I'll give you an example. I own more than 100 shares of Nvidia. Nvidia is trading right now today $125. If I want to buy Nvidia, but I don't want to buy it at 125, I want to buy it, let's say, at 115. So I get it $10 cheaper than what it is right now. If it comes down there, I'll buy more shares at 115, but what I'll do is I'll have a cash secured put. If it gets down there, I'll buy it 100 shares at 115. But what I'll do is I'll gain on the premium. If there's a put premium for, let's say, $10, multiplied by 100, because you always have to multiply contracts by 100. That's $1,000, and I get that $1,000 right away in my pocket. And if it expires next week and Nvidia doesn't come down to $115, I can't get assigned to buy those shares, but that option expires worthless, the premium, but I collect that $1,000. And then I continue to do, either if it's going up, I can do a covered call, or I can do another secured. A lot of traders do this with, if the markets are consolidating and they're not pushing down, but they will purchase it if they are assigned, but they buy it lower on discount, but they just collect premium week over week or month over month. It's another source of income. It's kind of like a paycheck. But we'll do a whole kind of webinar series, a whole PowerPoint presentation on this, explaining it more in detail, and then I'll show you how it looks in the markets. But there's so much to do with options. It's actually really fascinating, guys. But it does require a little bit of capital because you have to own 100 shares. So if you're thinking about that after the call, what is your favorite security that you like? If you love Apple, Apple is, for example, let's say it's $200. You have to own 100 shares in order to write premium, and so you have to have $20,000 in order to own Apple, the 100 shares. Carlos, sell put, sell calls, collect premiums, doing this for years. Yeah, it's the wheel strategy. Um, the wheel just keeps going around and around and around and just keep collecting those premiums. Great way to get passive income. And then if you do get assigned the security, Carlos, it's a good, magnificent seven. We're not doing it with like pump and dump garbage. I'm happy to own NVIDIA. I'm happy to own Apple. I'm happy to own securities that I know have a future and can keep going up. Jonathan, you love GameStop. Be careful with GameStop and those things. Yeah, but you can do it if you like with those too. Corwin, what brokers in Canada offer option trading? I do it with TD Ameritrade, TD Bank here in Canada, but also Wealth Simple is really good, Corwin. Interactive Brokers is really good. Questrade is really good in Canada. Any big bank in Canada, BMO, CIBC, they've got great option chain trading with minimal to low commissions. Okay, guys. So thanks, guys. We're gonna wrap up today's call. So it's 9:45. These sessions are gonna. This was more of a recap of what happened with our setups today. So just to reiterate, gold. We had the gold push down for 300 pips, and we had U.S. oil. Still, we'll see if it can continue to drive. I think it can. I think maybe we can push a little higher going into also next week. So U.S. oil moved 100 pips. Right now it's about 50 pips in profit still. And GBP USD has not been activated yet. It is still pushing higher. We're looking for a position right here to sell GBP USD, approximately 1.3070. Okay. Tobago, last thing. Yeah, what do you got? And then next week we'll get back in here and we'll look for some new new setups for the week. Tobago, would you incorporate a mini investment company for trading options? What do you mean incorporate a mini investment company? Incorporate yourself? Thank you, Q. Have a good night. Um, awesome, Desmond. Take care. Start up a business, you mean? Would you incorporate a mini investment company for trading options? Are you asking me personally if I would do that, or um, maybe if you can message give us an email and explain, Tobago, what you mean by that, because I don't, maybe I'm not understanding the question here. Um, Send us an email, stocksnipertrading at gmail.com, and then I'll get back to you. Explain a little more what you're talking about, and then I'll get to you. Okay, everyone, and please, everyone, trade safe tomorrow. Okay, it's a Friday. Don't do anything silly. Okay, let's not get in the habit of doing these silly things. Please trade smart and be aware. 10 a.m. Powell is speaking at the Jackson Hole event, and markets could be volatile. You saw today at 11 a.m. That's when everything started, was 11 a.m. So be very careful. Okay. So we had gold pull back into that 50% pocket right here. We're going to see if it can continue to push down and follow maybe this arrow. If we can get red volume closing below here, we could get further push, further sell off on gold. Okay. And everyone, thanks everyone. Have a good night. I will see you guys next week. We'll get started again with our Tokyo sessions, our 4-hour setups, and we'll talk about what's going on in the market. So have a good day. God bless everyone. Thank you everyone on Zoom for joining. I appreciate all of you guys. Everyone on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And also guys, before you go, if you want to join SST, right over here guys, visit us. This is our new website, awesome website over here. We've got all of our products that we have here, our memberships, education guys. I'm big on education, so we have our boot camps. We're going to be adding a lot more education here. So this is just the start, and this has got a lot in here, but this is our courses, and there's our live sessions that we do. We have our webinars. There's about 120 webinars right now, but now I'm going to be moving over and I'm going to be doing the Stock Sniper Trading SST, Super Systems Theory of Trading, a whole new content. This one's going to have maybe 100, 200, 300 webinars in itself, brand new content coming. And then we have boot camps already for stock and options, investing, for crypto, for trading the futures markets. It's not just Forex, guys. There's so much you can do. Remember that. It's not just Forex. There's so much you can do in the financial markets. Yeah, guys. So visit our website. And if you want to join the team, we'd love to have you. Join the Discord with the entire team. And we hope to help you guys in these markets, okay guys, and help you guys become financially free. So thank you guys so much everyone. I will see you guys. Have a fantastic Friday. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, so thanks guys. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate your time. Have a good day and a good evening, and we'll see you guys. Thank you guys. God bless guys.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.